This big back heifer, yes, big back heifer, I said it. We are wired to prioritize threats. And now your mind is spiraling over what they said, over their opinions about you, over their negativity. All those positive vibes, they're gone. It damages at least 5 positive memories. For the single ladies who keep questioning why they are still single, you're not picky, you're precise. This is the Ever Airwaves Think podcast, brought to you by Live One Company, where we explore ideas that challenge, comfort, and clarify. I'm Liv, and in every episode, we break down life's complexities with intellect, insight, and a touch of curiosity. All right, we're on air. All right, y'all. So let me tell you, I stay in those Reddit and Quora streets. Why? Because the dialogue is unmatched. People out here dropping knowledge, venting, or just spiraling in ways that make you go, wow, I feel seen. And today's topic, it's got folks' psyches in a chokehold. I couldn't resist. I had to bring it here. So don't ever say I didn't teach you anything. You're welcome. We're talking about 9 psychological things that are low key or maybe high key ruining you. So let's get into it. First psychological thing that is ruining you that we're going to get into is when you hear a single negative thing, it damages at least 5 positive memories. So imagine you're having like the best day, promotion at work, your hair is slaying, you even hit all the green lights on the way home. And then all of a sudden, someone drops a slick comment about how you're lucky or questions if you even deserve that promotion. And now your mind is spiraling over what they said, over their opinions about you, over their negativity. All those positive vibes, they're gone. And you're replaying that one shady comment on loop like it's a diss track. And by this point, you forget everything that good has happened. Why do we do this? Because I am so guilty of this my own self. Let me tell you a story. I remember when after I had my daughter, I'd gained like over 30 pounds just during my pregnancy, but I lost the weight and some more within like 6 to 8 months after having her. And I was actually feeling very confident about myself at that point. And a close friend of mine, she had reached out. She wanted to go to a Maxwell concert and she really wanted me to go with her just because, one, she was super obsessed with Maxwell. Like, I like Maxwell. I love his music. I think he's an amazing artist, but she was super obsessed with Maxwell. And again, she wanted me to get out the house and have some fun finally, just because I was living a life of repetition, just going to work, being a boss, coming home, tending to my kids, tending to my husband, doing this, doing that, cooking, cleaning, and going to bed, getting up, doing it all over again, and literally doing nothing for myself. And she's like, girl, you got to get out of the house. You got to have some fun. Long story short, so, we went to the Maxwell concert and it was fantastic. And we hung out outside at the back doors of the arena because this is where Maxwell comes out to get on his tour bus with his band and all that. And so we waited for maybe about an hour and a half and we were like at the front. We were at the front of the crowd and we were having a great time. I was out there with my cute little sexy dress on. I was looking like a snack, okay? The crowd was starting to grow. We were at the very front because we were out there kind of like first. And this big back heifer, yes, big back heifer, I said it. And no, I'm not talking about my friend, not my friend. But this other person, this other lady, which I swear probably was drag. And the more I think about it, it definitely was given drag. I'm talking about big back body. What Jasmine Crockett say? Bleach, blonde, bad built, butch body. Big arms, big legs, and man hips. Oh my goodness, man hips. Okay, them things was left and right, widespread. I was like, not you trying to be a RuPaul, but a terrible RuPaul on that. And not Maxwell bringing everybody out. I mean, everybody out. But she was standing behind me and kind of pushed me. She was shoving, like she wanted to get in front of us. I wasn't letting it happen. I was like standing there like, I will not be moved, okay? On Plymouth Rock, I stand. But we carried on because there was minor shuffling here and there with the crowd growing. So at first I paid it no mind. And my friend and I, we just kept talking. I was talking about my baby and everything. Before Maxwell comes out, which was like in the next 5 minutes or so, this lady like does a hard shove. To me, it felt deliberate, but I'm not 100% sure. But I know I turned around and was like, yo, you almost knocked me down. And she goes, oh, my bad. I'm sorry. You're cute and all in your little dress, but you look pregnant. Should you be out here? And when are you due? And I was like, now I know good and well I was looking tight and right. And I was so pissed by what this thing had said to me. And I was just like, why? Like, I'm convinced you are a whole man dressed up and you're over here talking about me. And I'm sitting here like really self-conscious now because I know that how hard I worked out, but like, am I still looking pudgy? Do I still look pregnant? But I knew that I didn't. My friend stood up for me. She was like, I know you lying. You better watch your mouth, sir. Yeah, she said, sir. And not him gasping for air and all shocked and appalled. I mean, my friend was calling it like she saw it. Like we all saw it. It was very obvious. My friend, she just had a baby and she looks zam good, okay? Yeah, I said zam, like I'm really trying to work on my mouth. But anyway, she was like, she looks good. How dare you? You over here ear hustling our conversation, hearing that she had a baby earlier this year. And so the thing was like, standing over 6 feet tall with a blonde wig and heavy makeup. And he was like, oh, my bad. No, I just thought, she was pregnant. And that kind of like ruined my night. It really did irritate me, their comment, because I was having a fantastic night, looking good. But the crazy part is even more is when Maxwell came out, like we were first to get pictures with him. And I took some beautiful pictures of my friend standing next to Maxwell. Of course, I let her go first because that was her boo at the time, at least in her head. Then it was my turn. And so when she took pictures of me, tell me why the pictures came out, my head was cut off on every single picture with Maxwell. Low key, did she like play me? Like she didn't want me to have a picture with her man. At the end of the day, I really didn't care because I liked him as an artist. I wasn't as obsessed. Fast forward our entire drive home and just how the comments really like disappointed me, really played on my psyche. It really hurt me. And I'm like, dang, like I worked so hard to try to snap back and this person is saying I look pregnant, but not in my mind taking into consideration that they were ear hustling our conversation and that she was just being nasty or whatever that thing was. But anyway, it happens. That's why I let her play on my psyche. So for the next 2 or 3 days, I'm working out extra hard, drinking extra water, doing all kinds of protein shakes and stuff. And it was really unnecessary. So with that, these Reddit streets, I was just looking for ways like, how do you combat this? There was doctors in the chat and stuff and psychologists in the chat. And they were like, write down every positive thing that happened to you that same day when someone's trying to rear end your day and reread it. All those positive things when negativity tries to come for you. So you won't allow someone to take away your great memories and those great moments. And you can really enjoy that time because again, I let that person in a wig, they really snatched up my day. They really tried to ruin my night. I had an amazing night watching Maxwell and his band perform. The concert was amazing. And now because of this big back man in a dress, trying to be funny with me, trying to insult me, I now have this bad memory associated with the incredible Maxwell concert that I went to. He messed it all up for me. Like I can't go back and look at the videos I recorded. I can't go back and look at pretty wings saved in the cloud somewhere and not remember that man, that whole man in a dress with bad makeup. So the next psychological thing ruining you right now is if you are not smart and you are very single, then you've entertained many men. Let's hope that body count's not high, okay? But we know that's not the case for you because you are smart. You're smart, you're important, you is kind. And smart people like yourself, they tend to have fewer mates because they're more selective. So for the single ladies who keep questioning why they are still single, I'm going to free you real quick. You're not picky, you're precise. When you're smart, you don't just date for vibes. You're thinking, can this person handle me at my best, at my worst, and in my in between? Yes, it's harder to find a match, but isn't it better to wait for someone who aligns with your energy than settle for a walking red flag? If you're smart and single, trust and believe you are envied because the girls are out here. They are outside, y'all. Outside, outside. They don't know what they really want. They're willing to take any old thing and not have any boundaries regarding what they like, what they will and won't tolerate, their deal breakers. They are zigzagging through a lot of red flags with some of these men out here because a lot of these men are outside and they are not mature. Most men don't even start maturing until the age 30 or 35. And my dad's told me this, my husband's told me this, my uncles have told me this. And I have read many books written by psychologists that say the exact same thing about the age maturity of men. And the core chat, the men in their 30s, 40s, and 50s were saying the same thing too. They were admitting like they was a hot mess. They was out in the streets. They was no good in their 20s and early 30s. Not until their mid 30s is when they started maturing. So if you are single, be smart single, be decisive and precise to really get that true man and have that right husband. The next thing that's ruining you and messing with your psyche is all that extra sleep. Sleep, yes, is good for the body, but a little sleep, a little slumber, and a little folding of the hands, and surely poverty shall come. Not me giving you the whole word before the message. But seriously, we are the most imaginative at night and least creative during the day. So that means sometimes you need to stay up to get the most out of yourself. Ever had your best ideas like at 2 a.m. in the morning? I could totally start my own skincare line, but come 9 a.m., you're straight struggling to pick whether to do your makeup or your hair first, because we know that's another whole social media debate, but the only correct answer for that is clothes, makeup, then hair. At least that's my order. Okay, and my order is right. Our thoughts are mumbo jumbo during the day because we're in a repetition mode and we're at work, we're doing this, we're doing that. However, psychological studies show that your brain's creativity peaks at night when the world is quiet and your mind can roam. I love to work through the night. I am a true night owl. I be checking them boxes off on my list and getting things done and coming up with new stuff, new ideas after the clock strikes 12. I am not going to say how long I stay up because that's my business. And sometimes, to be completely honest, it's not always healthy to lack sleep. But no, I be up, and I be in my own creative cloud, just creating and making magic with no interruptions. Take advantage of that. Take advantage of the night. Keep a notebook by your bed, record those ideas, and revisit them later when your logical brain kicks in. For those that know and are like me right now and are up at night, we know that our midnight cells are onto something like that others are just not tapped into right now. But get into it. The next psychological thing that's ruining you is your pain tolerance. Women have half as many pain receptors as men, but a higher pain threshold. Listen, no wonder we can take breakups, bad news, and even periods like champs. Women have been out here enduring and conquering. And the gag is we don't just feel the pain, we transmute it. You tell us we're down and out, we'll turn it into a plan, a glow up, and a comeback story before you even realize what hit you. But men, they stub a toe and need a day off. The point is, we women do have a higher tolerance for pain. And I think this is because we're the backbone of our families, our husbands, our homes. We have inner strength like no other. If you are a weak woman, then something may need to be fixed. Yes, we have our weak moments in life, but if you lack comeback, then you need help. Go to Proverbs 31 and study the strength of a woman. We are not to be played with. I'm not saying that having to endure pain a lot is right, because it's not, but no pain, no gain. Feel free to tussle with me in the comments because this can be a very touchy subject for some women. But just remember, if you have no pain in those arms while lifting weights, then you've gained no muscle. And that's all I'm saying about that. That's 4 of the 9 psychological things that are ruining you. It's a lot to digest, so this is broken into 2 episodes. Be on the lookout for part 2 in the next one. See, ladies, I'm very kind, very considerate, and very modest. You're welcome. Thanks for listening to the Ever Airwaves Think podcast. If today's episode made you elevate, share it with someone who needs it. Until next time, keep questioning until you have those answers. I'm out.